Okay, I've got a fresh cup of coffee and ready to install TagsCollector. If you would like to follow along, just download the free 30-day trial from the link below. I am already connected to a VM over RDP, and the server has a clean install of the Windows operating system. Now I'm going to paste the TagsCollector download folder onto the desktop, open the folder, and double-click the setup file. Click Next, agree to the license, and since we're installing this on a server, there may be multiple admins, so let's install this for everyone. Click Next to begin the installation, and allow Big Brother to do the install. And once the installation completes, you can close the installer. Allow the computer to run the software and the application will open. Here you can select to register the product or select a 30-day trial. I'm selecting the trial install. And again, click Continue 30-day trial, and the TagsCollector Management Console will open. The Management Console is the only application required for configuring the system. It is specifically intended for top-level system administrators and includes tabs for accessing virtually everything in the system, but for now we will focus our attention on the Data Collection tab. This one screen is used for adding, modifying, and deleting tags, configuring alarms and events, setting up gateways between multiple devices, adding tags to historical data collection, limiting user access to the controllers, assigning associations between various tags, and managing the transformation plugins used for formatting the data. Probably 95% of a system can be configured from this one screen. We will start by examining the location of the project database. By default, the project data is stored in a folder called My Tag Database on the system's C drive. If you prefer, you can move this folder, but for now I'm going to leave it in the default location. Okay, let's jump in and start adding some tags. First, we need to select a tag type. The tag type is comprised of both a protocol and a data type. Notice if we select a protocol of web page, that our data type choices are either XPath or HTML, and our data source is asking for a web address and an expression. But if we select a Siemens S7 1500, we get a completely different set of data types, and our data source is now asking for an IP address, a routing path, and a memory location. The user's manual gives detailed instructions for connecting to a variety of different data sources, but for this demonstration I will be selecting an Allen Bradley Logix controller that's running in our testing lab. In the upcoming examples, I will be using an analog input with an associated analog set point. If you're following along, you will need to replace my controller's information with something that works for you. I will begin by entering the IP address of my controller, 192.168.200.11. We then need to enter a routing path, which for AB is comprised of the PLC's backplane number, followed by a comma, and then the slot number for the CPU. About 99% of the time, an AB Logix routing path is going to be 1, 0. Select an update time for the tag. I'm going to enter 1000 milliseconds or 1 second. And now we need to add the actual tag name. We could enter this manually. However, if you're using an Allen Bradley Logix controller and you're already attached to the controller's network, all you need to do is click the Browse button. This will open a connection to the controller and present you with a complete list of all the available tags in the PLC. I'm going to select the Demo Global folder and AW1, which is an air washer simulation program that we have running on this particular PLC. Inside of AW1, I'm going to choose the tag Zone 3 Temp and click Select. As you can see, the tag's name gets added to the data source and the tag's data type is automatically selected. If we want to test the tag, we just click the Read button and the application retrieves the current value from the controller. Since PLC addresses and tag names are normally somewhat cryptic, TagsCollector adds two user-friendly labels for identifying the tag and arranging the data into some type of logical order. First is a group name. I'll use AirWasher1, and next a description. I'll enter Zone 3 Temp. These names are completely arbitrary. It doesn't matter what you call them, but each pair must be unique. There can only be one tag labeled AirWasher1 Zone 3 Temp. And next we'll assign an engineering unit. I'll use degrees. And at this point we're going to ignore the rest of the data fields and click the Add button. As you can see, this places the tag into the above data table. Now let's add another tag. Since my next tag will be coming from the same controller, I don't need to re-enter the controller's routing path. I just need to click Browse to select another tag, this time Zone 3 Temp Setpoint, and click Select. I will again click Read to verify the tag's responding, and now just add the word Setpoint to the descriptor, and again click Add. We've now added our second tag to the system. Before going further, I'm going to click the Connect button. Doing this saves our changes and adds these entries into the tag database. Keep in mind what we've already learned about the system's architecture. The management console we're looking at isn't actually doing the data collection, it's simply making changes to a database. The database is then being processed by the TagsCollector background service. Even if we close the management console, the tags we just added are still running in the background. If we click on the system tray, we can see that the service is installed and still running. As a shortcut for opening the management console, you can just click on the icon in the system tray. Now let's look at some additional features. If you want to edit a tag, just select the tag from the data table and click the Copy button. The tag data is then copied from the table into the workspace at the bottom of the screen. I'm now going to make a few edits to the Zone 3 Temp Setpoint tag. Perhaps we want to give users the ability to adjust this set point. If so, all we need to do is select the Write Enabled checkbox, assign the user access level required for making the change, make this a level 3, and then assign a min and max value to limit the user's control. For this demo, I'm going to enter a range of 65 to 85. Now we will click the Replace button to copy the workspace data back up into the data table and click Connect to push the changes out to the service. If I scroll over to the right, you now see Write Enabled, Access Level, and Limits have been added to the table. To test these changes, we can go to the Data Entry area, select Airwasher 1 from the group, and Zone 3 Temp Setpoint from the description, and now enter a new value, perhaps 76.3. Then click Write to PLC. The system then gives me a warning that I'm about to make changes in the PLC, and once I confirm, a new value is written out to the controller. Here you can see the new value, and to the right you can see success in the write status and a timestamp for the event. Furthermore, if I try to send a value of 61, we will then see a status of failed because the value must be between 65 and 85. Now that the data is inside the system, let's explore a few tools for transforming this data into something even more functional.